the excitement level here since taking over as head coach at Mississippi State, generating a buzz in Starkville. For 3 straight years, the Saints came to Jackson and held training camp at Millsaps College. This year, they stayed in New Orleans, and they're going to the Super Bowl. You have found us again. I'm glad you did. I'm Travis Raychek, ready for another night of the Dr. Pepper Sports Day. With Ole Miss taking a huge win over Texas Tech in the Cotton Bowl, 47-34. The first ever 6A championship game was played tonight. We had a lot of talent on the field. We had a lot of snow on the field, an absolutely wild one. And he is ready to make a decision. In the studio with us, we want to bring in Julyssus Nobles. It is decision day for you. I want to start by asking you about the last image a lot of people around the country saw is the broken leg in the bowl game. Southern Miss knew their season would end at some point here in Omaha. They were just hoping it wouldn't be so quickly.
We bring in sports director Travis Raychek. Travis.
Hey, Kathy, no one really saw this coming, but what fans in Hattiesburg saw Saturday night was maybe the moment of the year in college football.
32, senior Martez Smith.
SEC Media Days coming to a close, and the last team to talk, the Ole Miss Rebels. All right, after talking with Dominique, I couldn't get it out of my head. He reminded me of somebody, and you may think I'm crazy, but just take a look at this. Tell me, you see it? Huh? No? Come on, what about this picture? No? What about this one? All right, that has nothing to do with anything. Comeback stories in sports can be inspiring. Comeback stories that take 4 decades to complete. Pretty much unheard of until you meet this Holmes Community College kicker. He gets ready like a normal football player, but Alan Moore is not like every other guy on the team.
It's a lot different than it was in '68.
As in 1968. Yes, that was the last time Alan Moore played football. Now, it was about this time a year ago that the Taylorsville native spawned an idea to make an improbable comeback.
Went outside and started kicking. Bought a practice tee. It took me about 8 weeks to get one up off the ground. It's the first time I touched a football in 42 years.
The obvious rust wore off and persistence paid off after many colleges turned him away. But Holmes provided Moore one more chance.
It's a great story of perseverance, and then making up your mind you're going to make a commitment to something and working it. And no matter how many times you fail, you keep trying, because we weren't the first place he came.
Trying to do this thing that it wasn't like a me thing, it had to be a we thing. I wanted the team to accept me, the coaches to accept me, and the institution to accept it, and I think that they've all done that. The kids have been awesome. Can't say it any different.
Moore made this team based on his kicking ability. Now, he hasn't played in any of the Bulldogs' 3 games this season, but when and if he does, he'll be the oldest player on record at the JUCO level, and he'll be ready.
My time will come. I think my time will come whenever everything's right.
An inconceivable idea to most has turned into his life's mission.
It wasn't if I was going to kick somewhere in the state of Mississippi, it was where I was going to kick. I'll keep to that commitment to the very last second of the very last game. It's been life-changing. It's changed a lot. It's changed things around, the way I think, the way I do things.
And now Moore's next chance at making some history, getting in a game, will be Thursday. Holmes will host Northeast Mississippi Community College. Since Saturday, we've heard from so many people that were impacted by McNair's life, and today I got the chance to take a trip down to Alcorn State, a place that will always be gladly associated with Steve McNair.
He forever changed us in that regard, just in terms of pure name recognition for the school.
From the retired game-worn number 9 jersey to the trophies he helped win here, Steve McNair left a lasting impact all over Alcorn State University.
This man single-handedly put Alcorn on the map.
You can't mention Alcorn State without mentioning Steve McNair.
You know, around here, if your name's on the building, you was a bad joker. And, you know, but he they took it a step further. He has a street, so.
Steve McNair does have a street on campus named after him. In fact, the street sign has gone missing since his death. The man they called Air set NCAA passing records while leading the Braves to their most recent SWAC titles.
They called it the Jack Spink Jinx or whatever, but it was just something about Steve, you know, he just didn't, you know, he wouldn't let us lose, you know.
And McNair's legacy won't ever let the school be forgotten.
I got a lot of Alcorn stuff that I wear a lot at work, and that's the first thing they ask. Did you know Steve McNair? Or did you play with Steve McNair? Especially when they find out that I played football. And when I tell them, yeah, I played with him, they light up because they want to know how was he and what did he do.
McNair to throw again. Touchdown, Alcorn State.
Steve made just an unbelievable run. I think it was Southern University. And for whatever reason, when he scored, and I was there at the mic, and all of a sudden, I just said, you saw it. Nothing else to say. Just said, you saw it.
Those guys did see some amazing things in Steve's time at Alcorn.
Sports.
When it comes to the Egg Bowl, all Dan Mullen knows is victory. That's right, in his first MSU Ole Miss game, Mullen led the Dogs to a 41-27 upset win, and he's been fueling the fire to the rivalry ever since. The creator of the School Up North phrase has really made this game a little something more to look forward to come Saturday. You might also remember after the game last year, Mullen grabbed the mic on the field and said to the crowd, there's definitely one program on the rise in the state and going in the right direction.
This program is definitely on the rise, going in the direction we want it to go in. And you know, I remember, I think before the week I was reading in the newspaper that there was a report that was not the case, that it was another program was on the rise in the state. Obviously, since that game to now, we are the program that's on the rise, and we plan to keep it that way.
I mean, I've been doing one game at a time. I mean, it is in the back of my mind how they ran the score up and stuff.
Well, Brandon Bolden and Ole Miss, they have not forgotten about their forgettable trip to Starkville last November. The Rebels, they were riding high heading to another bowl game when MSU took back bragging rights in the state. Now Ole Miss has a chance to do the same. They're a team playing for nothing more than pride, but a lot of it.
It's definitely going to use it as motivation. It's been in our locker room since last year, Egg Bowl. Coach Nutt said it in the locker room after this game that he's looking forward to it. Been looking forward to it since last year. You know, like I said, this is our bowl game now. We're definitely not going to hang out here. We're going to get up for it.
Been a rival for a long time. I can't wait to go back out there. This the game right here, you know, that most of us guys from Mississippi play for, you know.
Now, if you were at the game in Hattiesburg Saturday, it was probably a night you'll never forget. Southern Miss senior Martez Smith, paralyzed now after being shot just over a week ago, made his emotional appearance before the game, a surprise appearance. And there's some more good news on the Southern Miss shootings. Dedrick Jones has been released from the hospital. Coach Fedora also saying all the guys are doing well and in really good spirits. Well, everyone pretty focused on football in the state, but hoop season is here, and tonight Mississippi State hosting Detroit at the Hump. Rayvern Johnson, he's kind of carrying the offensive load for this team right now and did so tonight. 25 points for Rayvern. Cody Augustus bringing home a double-double as MSU wins 82-76. Other college action, Southern Miss remains unbeaten, beating McNeese State 75-60. Jackson State falls to 0-5. Almost, though, for the Tigers. 66-60 loss to Marshall. On to the high school hoop scene. Callaway and DeVille Smith taking on Murrah. Hey, right back at you. This one over at Cardozo Middle School while the Chargers keep working on their gym. Marcus Love, a bucket to put the Mustangs up 5, but then DeVille gets hot. Knocks one down from outside, and then the up and under move. Callaway goes on to win 59-46. Quick news and notes, Melvin Harris suspended by Ole Miss coach Houston Nutt for the Egg Bowl. Danny Ratman, the Southern Miss kicker, a Lou Groza finalist, and Leslie Frazier, the Alcorn alum, now the head coach of the Minnesota Vikings. Kathy?